Shalom. Welcome back. I know it's been a minute again, but we all have our lives, right? Anyways, I hope you're well. Let's get back to something special. The wise one hears and increases learning, and the understanding one gets wise counsel for understanding a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of Yahushuo is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Let There Be Light. My name is Brian, if you're new. And on this episode, we're getting back to the wise words of Solomon. King David's son. In this episode, we are covering chapters 6 through... we're going to try to go to 10. Okay? And, Mrs. Let There Be Light really put some highlights through this section. So, we might get some words of wisdom there. Anyways. I hope you're well. May the Father be with you. May the Ruach, the Spirit, guide you. And if you're asking, may this be a receiving. Chapter 6. Hear, therefore, O kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in multitude of nations. For power is given you of Yahushuo, and sovereignty from El Elyon. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the Torah, the law, nor walked after the counsel of Elohim. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is Yahushuo over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness, for he has made the small and the great, and cares for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, yet ye may learn wisdom, and not fall away. For they that guard honestly, purely, shall be judged holy. And they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore, set your afflictions upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Wisdom is glorious, and never fades away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She prevents them that desire her. In making herself known unto them, who seek her earnestly, shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. Ask. This is my own conjecture, I'm sorry. Ask, and answers shall come knocking. It's up to you to open the door. Anyways. To think therefore upon her perfection of wisdom. And whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care. For she goes about seeking such as are worthy of her, shows herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meets them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is, get this, love. And love is keeping her Torah, her law, and giving heed unto her Torah is assurance of incorruption. And incorruption makes us near to Elohim. Therefore, the desire of wisdom brings to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore. As for wisdom, what she is, and how she came up, I will tell you. And I will not hide mysteries from you, but will seek her out from the beginning of her nativity, and bring the knowledge of her into light, and will not pass over the truth. Neither will I go with consuming envy, for such a man shall have no fellowship with wisdom. But the multitude of the wise is wherefore of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good. And you see, that was chapter 6. See, wisdom is something that Solomon prayed for earnestly, repeatedly. Yes, his practices may have slipped, but the knowledge was there. It was given. Let me recap on chapter 6 here for just a second. Mrs. Let There Be Light really, I don't know if you can see, we got a million highlights here. I just want to go over a couple things. So throughout chapter 6, It's not just me on this channel. There is a silent partner here. Anyways. Highlighted, we have, being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the Torah, nor walked after the counsel of Elohim. These are all the people in high places. What kingship may do to the mind of us that are lowly, human, She highlights, learn wisdom. My candle keeps blowing. You know what? That candle just doesn't need to be lit. We're good. Wisdom is glorious. It never fades away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her. Isn't that true? If you love wisdom, you search for it, and you obtain it. And it is easily seen because it is you. And found of such as seek her. For she goes about seeking such as are worthy of her, shows herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meets them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her Torah. And the giving heed into her Torah is assurance of incorruption, and incorruption makes us near to the Most High. Take that one to heart. Yeah, that was all of chapter 6. So, moving on. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in the common air, and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. The earth, which is of like nature. Dust. From dust we are, to dust we return. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, and all others do, as all others do, I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that which cares. And there is no king that any other being of birth. The first to be anointed to be king at birth, perhaps. For all men have one entrance into life, and like going out. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given to me. I called upon Elohim, and the Ruach of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches nothing in comparison of her. Neither compared I to her to any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as little sand, and the silver shall be counted as clay before her. I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light, for the light that comes from her never goes out. Wisdom is perpetual. Once you obtain, it's in there, right? You just gotta apply it. All good things together come to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands. And I rejoice in them all, because wisdom goes before them, and I knew not that she was the mother of them. I learned diligently, and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto man that never fails, which they that use become the friends of Elohim, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. Elohim has granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given to me, because it is he that leads unto wisdom, and directs the wise. For in his hands are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. Those couple of two lines there really reminds me of the, hold on. Let's pause for a second. Really reminds me of something that, his dad, David, wrote. Psalm 1, 2. But his delight, talking about a man, searching the path of righteousness, but his delight is in the Torah of Yahushuo, and he meditates on his Torah day and night. So, it is he, his law, that leads to wisdom and directs the wise. For in his hands are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge and workmanship. For he has given me certain knowledge of things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation, of elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, and the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the position of the stars, and the nature of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, and the violence of winds, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants, and the virtues of roots, And all such things are either secret or manifest. Them I know. Imagine knowing every aspect of all those things. I mean, you could give great counsel. Where were we? All such things I know of them. Okay. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding ruach, spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, loving the thing that is good quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good. Well, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free of care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure, and most subtle, ruach, spirits. Really reminds me of Galatians 5, 20-something, 2. The fruits of the Spirit. Patience, goodness, kindness, love. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passes and goes through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is breath of the power of Elohim, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of El Shaddai, Yah Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, and the unspotted mirror of the power of Elohim, and the image of his goodness. So if you are wise, you have goodness, a powerful fruit. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she makes all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she makes them friends of Elohim and prophets. For Elohim loves none but him that dwells with wisdom. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of the stars. Being compared with light, she is found before it. But after this comes night. But vice shall not prevail against wisdom. That was kind of a long chapter. So, some highlights. I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature to me. We are all dust, because we are created, well, in like nature of the earth. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given to me. Ask, and you shall receive. I called upon Elohim, and the Ruach of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches, nothing in comparison of her. So, To be wise is to have all. There's no material possession in this world that can compare to having wisdom. And much like his daddy said, we delight in the Torah of Yahushuo, and we meditate on that Torah, that law, day and night. I learned diligently to communicate her liberally, so to spread, liberally, communicate it to others. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never fails, which they that use become friends of the Most High. Being commended for the gifts that come from learning. It is he that leads to wisdom and directs the wise. Sorry if you're hearing some buzzing. My messaging app is going off. I have some fellow believers really having a commune right now. For he has given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operations of the elements. One would be the turning of the sun. Interesting about the turning of the sun. Most of us learn in our schooling system that the sun doesn't move, does it? Apparently wisdom tells you that it does. For she is the breath of the power of Elohim, and the pure influence flowing of the glory of El Shaddai. What else do we got here? Little nuggets. Good little nuggets here. Mrs. Let There Be Light. Entering into the holy soul, she makes them friends of the Most High. What a position that would be. We all strive, don't we? And not only that, to be a prophet. The Most High loves none but him that dwells with wisdom. Beautiful. Chapter 8. Hope you're kicking it with me. Wisdom reaches from one end to another mightily, and sweetly she orders all things. I loved her and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse. Well, he had many, but of the many, he desired this one, knowledge and wisdom above all. And I was a lover of her beauty, in that she was conversant with Elohim. She magnifies her nobly, yea, Yahweh of all things herself, himself loved her. For she is privy to the mysteries of knowledge of Elohim, and a lover of his works, If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom? Well, it's almost like a reiteration. That's like a reiteration of the last chapter, isn't it? Wisdom that works all things. And if prudence work, who of that are in more cunning workmen than she? And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues, for she teaches temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. If it's one thing I've learned, patience. This is me. If it's one thing I've learned, patience. Patience leads to goodness, understanding. With patience, you can exercise love and kindness. How many things? Just think. Sorry, this is a long conjecture. Just think to yourself, how many things have gone awry because I didn't exercise just a shred of patience that could have led to kindness, love, and understanding. Just think about it. Where were we? If a man desires much experience, she knows things of old and conjectures aright, which is to come. She knows the subtleties of speeches and can expound dark sentences. She foresees signs and wonders and the events of the seasons and times. Therefore, I propose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things and a comfort in cares and grief. For her sake I shall have estimation among the multitude. Estimation, among the multitude, and honor them, and honor with endures throughout. Though I be young. Reading. I shall be found of a quick conceit in judgment, and shall be admired in the sight of great men. When I hold my tongue, they shall abide my leisure, and when I speak, they shall give good ear unto me. If I talk much, they shall lay their hands upon my mouth. Who's ever been in a position to where you've been just and everybody just wants to be like, Brian, shut it. You've said enough. I have. Anyways. Moreover, by the means of her, I shall obtain immortality and leave behind me an everlasting memorial to them that come after me. I shall set the people in order, and the nations shall be subject to me. Horrible tyrants shall be afraid when they do but hear of me. I shall be found good among the multitude, and valiant in war. Well, we all have our wars daily, don't we? Personal little wars. And if you have wisdom, you are valiant. Nobody can beat you if you have wisdom. After I am come into my house, I will repose myself with her. For her conversation has no bitterness, and to live with her has no sorrow, but mirth and joy. Now, when I considered these things in myself and pondered them in my heart, how to be aligned unto wisdom is immortality. And great pleasure it is to have her friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of conference with her, prudence, and in talking with her, a good report. I went about seeking about to take her to me, for I was a witty child, and had a good ruach. Remember, in his youth, Yah chose him because he was worthy. His father couldn't build the temple because he had blood on his hands. But he looked to Solomon and said, "That's a child that is worthy to do my bidding." Yea, rather, being good, I came into a body undefiled. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her, except Elohim gave her to me. And that was a good point of wisdom also to know whose gift she was. I prayed unto Yahweh and besought him, and with my whole heart I said, Chapter 9. O Elohim of my father, and Yahweh of mercy, who have made all things with your word, and obtained man through your wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which you have made, and order the world according to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. Give me wisdom. Give me wisdom that sits by your throne, and reject me not from among your children. For I, your servant, and son of your handmaid, am a feeble person, and of a short time, and too young for the understanding of judgment of and the Torah. For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet if your wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded. And have chosen me to be king of your people, and a judge of your sons and daughters. You have commanded me to build a temple upon your holy mount, and an altar in the city wherein you dwell, in resemblance of the holy tabernacle which you have prepared from the beginning. And wisdom was with you which knows your works, and was present when you made the world, and know what was acceptable in your sight, and right in your commandments. O send her out of your holy heavens, and from your throne of your glory. And being present, she made labor with me, that I may know what is pleasing unto you. For she knows and understands all things, and she shall lead me soberly to my doings, and preserve me in her power. So shall my works be acceptable. And then shall I judge you, your people, righteously, and be worthy to sit on my Father's seat. For what man is he that can know the counsel of Elohim? For who can think what the will of Yahweh is? For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but unclean. Uncertain. We're reading the shadows here. For the corruptible body presses down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighs down the mind of the muses upon many things. And hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon the earth, and with labor do we find the things that are before us. But the things that are in heaven, who has searched out? And your counsel, who has known, except you give wisdom? And your counsel, who has known, except you give wisdom, and send your Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, from above. For so the ways of them which live on the earth were reformed, and the men were taught the things that are pleasing unto you, and were saved through your wisdom. It's huge. It is huge. Pray and ye shall receive. Ask, and answers shall come knocking. But you must open the door. Last chapter. There wasn't too many highlights in that one, but there's a few in this one. It's a bit of a, not too lengthy, but yeah. Hope you're enjoying this. I love you. I really do. Wisdom's huge. We don't have much time in this life, so we must conjecture every step that we take in our own minds and ask if we're doing right. Chapter 10. She preserved the first formed Father of the world, and that was created alone, and brought him out of his fall, and gave him power to rule all things. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother. Chapter 4, Genesis. I do believe. For whose cause the earth, being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value. Moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto Elohim, and kept him strong against his tender compassion toward his son. When the wicked perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire, which fell down upon the 5 cities. Check out, well, I did a video on this, Sodom, Gomorrah. I believe he's talking of Lot. Of those wickedness, even unto this day, wastelands that smoke, is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul. For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world of a memorial of the foolishness, so that the things wherein they often they could not so much as be hid. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attempted upon her. When the righteous fled from his brother's wrath. Yes. When the righteous fled from his brother's wrath, she guarded him in the right paths, showed him the kingdom of Elohim, and gave him knowledge of holy things, made him rich in his travels, and multiplied the fruit of his labors. In the covetousness of such as oppressed him, she stood by him and made him rich. She defended him from his enemies and kept him safe from all those that lay in wait. And in a sore conflict she gave him the victory, that he might know that goodness is stronger than all. Much like one of the other fruits. Goodness and love conquers all. When the righteous was sold, she forsook him not. Who was sold? Yosef. But delivered him from sin, when she went down with him into the pit, and left him not in bonds till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom, and power against those that oppressed him. As for them that had accused him, she showed them to be liars, and gave him perpetual glory. She delivered the righteous people, and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them. She entered into the soul of the servant of Yahushuo, and withstood dreadful kings in wonders and signs, rendered to the righteous a reward of their labors. guided them in merciless ways, and was unto them for a cover by day, and a light of stars in the night seasons. It's beautiful. Very poetic, but very deep, too. This kind of tells you the story of everything in a very short spans. She brought them through the Red Sea and led them through much waters, but she drowned their enemies and cast them up onto the bottom of the pit, the deep. Therefore, the righteous spoiled the wicked and praised our holy name. O Yahushuo, magnified with the one accord your hand that fought for them. For wisdom opened the mouth of the dumb and made the tongues of them that cannot speak eloquent. Well, that's very beautiful. We'll continue that. I'd like to end this out with another little thing in Proverbs 1. So I hope you're very well. And thank you for chilling out with me. This is Let There Be Light. My name's Brian. And wisdom calls aloud outside. She comes knocking. She raises her voice in the broad places. At the end of the noisy streets, she cries out. At the opening of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, would you love simplicity? And shall scoffers delight in their scoffing? And fools hate knowledge? Turn at my reproof. See, I pour out my spirit on you. I make my words known to you. With love. Lights out.